The western wall starts from the corner there with the southern wall and continues. We cannot see it because the city has been built up to it, especially the Muslim quarter. We are in the Christian quarter, Muslim quarter out from there. The Jewish quarter, Muslim quarter. Behind the Jewish quarter is the Armenian quarter, and at the far end on that corner will be the Christian quarter. Tomorrow you will be more in the Christian quarter, today will be more in the Jewish quarter, okay? And excavation in the city of David. It's interesting, we call that the old city, but the city of David, which is older, is outside of the old city. Okay? Don't be confused. Now you see the separation between men and women. I think also that the women cannot concentrate in their prayer when they see so many men around them. So they decided to separate themselves too. That's a possibility. Yeah, it's possible. I don't say it's true, I say yes, it's possible.
According to Tito.
I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. It's possible.
According to Tito.
So you can see the separation. Women on one side, men on the other side. Men are wearing the prayer shawl. You can see that for the prayer. When you address God, you should cover the everyday dress. You need, like you dress well when you go to see the king. You don't go with your everydays. So the prayer shawl makes a separation between what do you call that? The material and the spiritual. That's the use of the prayer shawl.
And you still write your prayer and stick it in the wall?
That is not, the custom comes from the visitors. Mm-hmm. And especially people who are messengers. That means someone, you tell your community you are going to Jerusalem, so all the neighbors will come to you. You are so lucky, we will never be able to do that. Can you say a prayer for me there? Or for my father, or for my daughter, or whatever. And the guy, if he gets too many, will say, can you write them down? And then he gets the messages. And when he comes to here as a messenger, he puts the nose between the wall. Usually the people who live here don't put nose. I'm talking about the visitors who are doing it. But that has been happening for maybe for a century. Maybe for not too long ago. It's something modern, especially when it was easier to come to Jerusalem. I want to tell you that before 67, the Western Wall, the place for prayer, was only 10 feet wide. And all this area was a Moroccan quarter. There were workers from Morocco who were living here in kind of shacks here. And that was demolished the day after the old city was freed. Bulldozers redid all these things and allowed everybody to come here. There were no people inside, okay? The quarter was empty, it was just ruined. But that's what they did in order to allow everybody to go there. And of course, when it was a small, narrow passage, of course, there was no separation, men and women. So you can see something more modern. The more you have more people, then you start to make laws and rules. So you see the people are praying that direction, and again, some even are praying a little bit askew. The reason is because the temple, to see where the Dome of the Rock is. Some even go into the excavation there to be exactly opposite the place. Because we have excavation that follow the wall under the ground. Okay, that's in some tours we do that, but it takes time and it has to be arranged in advance. But you can go under the ground because the wall, what you see here, is not the floor here, where the people are standing. They're standing over close to 40 feet of rubble. The base of the wall is much, much, much lower. And the lower you go, the bigger the stones. One of the stones that were found in the tunnel weighs 560 tons. 560 tons, one stone. And there's many of them on the same row. Because the moment you put a big stone, you need the whole row to be of big stones. You cannot add small stone, it has to be aesthetic. So think of how they did it. That's, again, the work of King Herod. And after all, it's not even part of the temple, it's a platform, it's a wall, it's a retaining wall that supports that platform where the temple sat. So it's a elevated platform like the Parthenon in Greece, what do you call that? an acropolis. An acropolis, and to make the top, not because it's a mountain. You don't want to climb on a mountain and get the building. So you have to make something flat. That's what Herod did. That's the platform. And the platform still exists. The Romans tried to destroy it together with the temple. They destroyed some until they arrived to the big stones. And then they stopped. It was too much work. That's why when the Muslim came later, they built the mosque. They also repaired the top of the platform. You can see the smaller stone on top. Okay. But the stones of Herod, you will recognize them. They all have a nice border. They're carved nicely and have a nice border. Of course, they are big. I will leave you to that. Women can go that way. Men can go that way. One thing I want to remind you, people might approach you maybe to bless you or something. It doesn't mean that these are rabbis or women rabbi or whatever. Some people are here begging for money. Some people are posing as religious people. It's very easy to put something black on yourself and say, I'm a rabbi. Who can check that? So just if people approach you for blessing you, usually they will want some money at the end of the blessing. But God blesses you without any need for that. Okay? So you can go all the way to there, even touch the wall, and let's come back here. Okay?
And can we
This is fine.
put papers
Of
below?
course you can put papers. Of course you can put papers. Don't put money there. If you have to put money, give it to me. I will take that. Okay, timing. What time is it?
What time?
10. So at 9 we are here. Okay. At 9 we are here.
Don't touch